Hello world, I'm Kei from Japan. Today I'd like to talk about why is it so difficult for foreigners to rent a house in Japan. First of all, I'd like to talk about the Japanese lease contract system. You should know before signing a contract. Japanese lease contract system. Security deposit. 敷金 1 to 2 months rent. Since the security deposit is money held as collateral, the basic idea is that the full amount will be returned if the rent is returned in its original condition with no delinquent payments. In reality, however, the full amount is rarely returned. Key money, 礼金 1 to 2 months rent. A key money is a payment to the landlord as a way of saying, "Thank you for renting me your house." It's a cultural practice that has taken root in Japan since ancient times. To add, Japan's population is shrinking and fewer people are renting rooms, so the number of houses with no security deposit and key money is increasing. Renewal fee, 更新料 1 month's rent per 2 years. A renewal fee is a fee required to renew a lease, usually equivalent to 1 month's rent. In most cases, renewals occur every 2 years. Note that the renewal fee is similar to key money and the amount is not refundable. Cosigner, guarantor system. 連帯保証人 The cosigner is obligated to repay the loan in place of the person signing the contract. The primary obligor, when he or she is unable to pay the money. Since it's difficult for foreigners to have a guarantor, it's necessary to find a property that doesn't require such a guarantor. Why is it so difficult for foreigners to rent? Point 1. Difficulty communicating in Japanese. Foreigners who can't communicate adequately in Japanese will be a source of anxiety for Japanese owners, who will find it difficult to sign a contract for the property. Point 2. Difficult to find someone to be a cosigner. For foreigners who have no family or relatives in Japan, finding a guarantor is a very difficult handle, and there are many cases where a guarantor cannot be found and a contract cannot be signed. Point 3. Manners and cultural differences. Some real estate owners refuse to allow foreigners to move in to avoid the risk of problems that may occur after they move in due to differences in manners and culture. Point 4. Difficult to prove ability to pay. When renting a property, ability of the tenant to pay rent must be verified, making it difficult to find a rental property for a foreigner who doesn't have employment contract or pay stub, or who doesn't yet have a job. Point 5. Had to take action in case of emergencies or return home. Many real estate owners anticipate problems such as foreigners returning home with rent arrears without completing move-out procedures or leaving home temporarily for long periods of time, causing security risks. Points for foreigners to pass the tenant screening. Point 1. Japanese language skills to communicate. Foreigners who can communicate in Japanese and know basic rental terminology will have a better chance of getting through. Point 2. Find a property that doesn't require cosigner. It's recommended to avoid properties that require joint guarantor from the beginning. Surprisingly, you can find many properties that are okay for foreigners and don't require a joint guarantor. Point 3. Learn Japanese manners and culture. If a foreigner has a good understanding of Japanese lifestyle and culture, it will be easier to determine that he or she can rent a property with peace of mind. Common problems with foreign tenants. Point 1. Noise. In many cases, the volume of noise is perceived differently. by Japanese and foreigners. Japanese nationals prefer a quiet environment, and some people become greatly stressed when foreigners in their neighborhood gather at home parties and make a lot of noise. Point 2. Garbage disposal rules. Trouble can occur when people don't know the detailed rules for garbage separation in Japan and pull out garbage without separating it, or don't put out the proper type of garbage on garbage collection day. Point 3. Delayed rent payments. Although some foreigners are more lax than Japanese in terms of rent payment deadlines, Japan is very strict in terms of rent payment deadlines, and there is a high risk of being forcibly evicted if you are more than 2 months in arrears. Then I'll explain how to find rental properties in Japan that foreigners can move into. For those who can understand Japanese, search for Chintai, area name, 外国人か foreigners allowed on Japanese real estate websites. You should use Japanese language, kanji, katakana, so it's very difficult for those who have difficulty understanding Japanese. If you search rental apartment in Tokyo on the search engine, you will find real estate websites with English descriptions. These real estate services are recommended because they have English-speaking staff on hand. How was today's video? If you find this video interesting or useful, please feel free to like it, subscribe to our channel, or comment. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.